slums, where the population has multiplied tenfold over the last 3 decades. Each year, thousands arrive with little more than the clothes on their backs. Jafar arrived in 2013, just after the Viaru cyclone destroyed his home and ravaged his land.
I like my life in the village. I never imagined moving here. But then the hurricane came and I lost my home and work. I had no choice.
It took Jafar a year before he could save enough money to bring his family here. Now he rents this tiny room in the slum.
In this corner we keep our things, clothes and my tools, and that's where we sleep.
Like Jafar and his family, over 500,000 people have fled from the countryside to the city's slums. They are the country's global warming refugees.
My village is beautiful, but everyone is leaving slowly. I even met a few friends from home in the city, but life is much tougher here. I would like to go back.
In the country's south, we meet those who face the immediate impact of climate change. Here, the houses appear to be adrift like boats, and the people look like castaways. They have always faced the wrath of nature, but the frequency of cyclones has risen. Half a century ago, there was one cyclone every 20 years. Now, there's one every 2 years. Kalpana raises 3 children in this tough environment. It's not just the cyclones. In the last 2 decades, she has witnessed an alarming rise in sea levels.
We used to live on the other side, but then there was a cyclone, so we moved a little further. But that house was destroyed by the river.
The rise of sea levels is another terrible consequence of global warming. This village was built on land where an ancient Christian cemetery once stood. Like Kalpana, 20 to 30 million people will become climate refugees in Bangladesh by 2050. They constantly live in a state of emergency.
You see, we're always prepared. This is a bag with clothes, pillows to sleep on, children's school things, and some food. The rest we store at a higher level, and then we pray.
The melting ice caps from the Himalayas travel to the Bay of Bengal through Bangladesh. The country is extremely flat and is often plagued by cyclones and floods. It has been declared the country that's most at risk from climate change, just ahead of India and Madagascar.
Overall, it's extremely flat, so little rise in the sea level means a lot of penetration into the landmass. And this line is the 1 meter sea level rise line, so everything under that will be inundated by salt water.
Bangladesh is slowly disappearing, and salt water has ruined the quality of soil. Scientists have developed a salt-resistant variety of rice, but sodium levels in the soil are too high. 10 years ago, Khalid's father cultivated acres of rice here. Now, the soil is just not fertile anymore. So the family has converted their rice fields to fish farms.
Here we don't have any fresh water, so we can't grow any rice or vegetables. In this region, you'll find only fish and shrimps.
As far as the eye can see, there are only fish farms. These farms use millions of liters of salt water, accelerating the process of salinization of the soil. In Mongla village, 50 kilometers away from the coast, the underground water table is contaminated by salt. Here, finding drinking water is a daily struggle.
See what we have to do? There's a pond and we buy that water, but even that is not fit for drinking. We use these chemical crystals to make the water less harmful.
Ravaged by cyclones, threatened by rising sea levels, and facing a lack of drinking water, Bangladesh is a victim of climatic injustice. An average Bangladeshi citizen emits 100 times less carbon dioxide than citizens in developed countries.